So we are moving on to the fifth deceased devotion, and this particular disease or this particular obstacle is very, very subtle. So till now we discussed 4 levels of disease which are very gross. You can identify them very easily. And our endeavors stop till there. But now onwards, we depend on the mercy of the Lord. We become more and more dependent. We become more and more surrendered. It's more and more subtle. Only a humble devotee can feel it. Otherwise, once we cross the 4 stages which we discussed till now, person will start feeling halo around his head. He starts to think, I am a pure devotee now. But actually it goes through 2 more stages, which is called as covered devotion. Avrita bhakti. What is this? What is that? Car. Can you see the car? It is covered. So it's called bhakti abhas. Abhas means yes, we have achieved something, we have realized something, but still Krishna has not revealed completely in the life. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur compares it with a very beautiful analogy. He tells that if a lady ties up a cloth on his stomach and for 9 months she pretends that she is pregnant, will she give birth to a child? She will not give birth to a child. In the same way, Avrita Bhakti means, yes, we are doing many things, but still Krishna has not revealed himself in our life. And then different kind of shelters come in our life. Sometimes people think I am too renounced, that means I should be a good devotee. We compare devotion to renunciation. I am very, very pakka in my sadhana and getting up kind of yoga practices, that is compared to the devotional service. I have so much knowledge of different Vedantas, I should be a good devotee. And different other worships and so forth. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur tells, actually, that makes us falsely proud. That we can achieve Krishna on our own. Sometimes we think that, okay, I am chasing some anarthas, I'll chant more. And if I chant more, then I'll get rid of anarthas. That means really on our own strength can we get free of our anarthas? No. Our Vaishnava theory is hold and pull theory. We give our hand, Krishna gives his hand, and with both combination of his endeavor and our endeavor, we come out of material pleasures. This understanding is very, very important. Otherwise, we'll miss the real nectar of Krishna consciousness. Can somebody read this quote from Srila Prabhupada?
The test of the real change of heart that takes place when one chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the one become detached from material enjoyment. This is the real change. Bhakti Prema Bhakti Parishanava Anyatacha. If one is actually advancing in spiritual life, he must become very much detached from material enjoyment. If it is something found that Kanishta Adhikari, neophyte devotee, shows artificial tears in his eyes when chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but is still completely attached to the material thing, his heart has not really changed. The change must be manifested in terms of one's real activities.
So there is a saying, what is our character? Our character is what we are when we are alone. What we feel when we are alone. Is in front of everyone, very enthusiastic, very fixed up. Suppose there is nobody around us, that time how much Krishna conscious we are. That will be real bhakti. That Goswami describes a very simple definition. Anya vilashita shunyam yam karmadhyana vratam Anukulena Krishnanam Shivanam Bhaktivedam. Although Narad Muni is such a big preacher, Krishna empowered Rupa Goswami to give a better definition than Narad Muni. Narad Muni gives definition. What's the definition? Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Rachati, given by Narad Muni. That engaging senses in the service of Krishna is bhakti. But Krishna inspired Rupa Goswami to give this definition, which is Uttama Bhakti. The best bhakti is when it's free from all ulterior motives. It's free from jnana and karma. Now, how to reach there? We can't reach here by our own endeavors. Only thing is, we have to take shelter of 5 most potent things which Rupa Goswami has told. So in blind devotion, the solution which we discuss is we have to select one aspect of devotional service which keeps us inspired to continue devotional service. But here, we compulsorily do these 5 activities to come out of Avrita Bhakti, to manifest Krishna in the heart. That's the most potent 5 things, the main limbs of devotional service. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught to Rupa Goswami. Let's recite together. Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtan Bhagavat Shravana. Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtan Bhagavat Shravana. Mathura Vasa Shri Murti Shraddhaya Sevana. Mathura Vasa Shri Murti Shraddhaya Sevana. Sakala Sadhana Srishta Ei Panchanga. Sakala Sadhana Srishta Ei Panchanga. Krishna Prema Janma Ei Pancher Alpa Sangha. Krishna Prema Janma Ei Pancher Alpa Sangha. No options. These 5 potent ways to achieve Krishna consciousness, even Alpa Sangha, little bit association, one can reveal Krishna in the heart. What's that? First is Sadhu Sangha. Regular Sadhu Sangha. Not once in a year. Sometimes we ask Jen, you come to temple? Yeah, every Janmashtami I come. Not like that. Every day Sadhu Sangha. Online, offline is different, but every day. Second is Nama Kirtan. Nam Japa. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Third is Bhagavad Shravana. Very important. Every day studying Srimad Bhagavatam. And it's told Shravan means hearing from devotees. So in association of devotees, Bhagavad Shravana. Fourth is Mathura Vas. Mathura Vas means? Staying in Dham. So how many of you are shifting to a Dham? Mathura Vas for us is going to ISKCON temple. That is our Mathura Vas. This is Mathura Vas. Because Srila Prabhupada's each center, each temple is extension of Vaikuntha. That's what Prabhupada said. So for us, coming here physically and sitting, not online, coming and sitting here is Mathura Vas. Important. And Shri Murti Shraddhaya Sevana. In our homes, we establish Krishna as the proprietor of our homes. And Krishna, this is your world now. This is your home. I am staying here extra as a paying guest. You are the owner of this house. Bhagavanta nahi jani seva matra kari tumhara sansare ami vishaya kara. It's your world. I am just caretaker. That's the understanding. But if we do these 5 things, Krishna becomes more and more revealed in our heart. But out of these also, especially focus is given to chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is from Chaitanya Bhagavat. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Prabhu bole kohi naam ei Mahamantra. Prabhu bole kohi naam ei Mahamantra. Iha japa diya sabe kariya nirbandha. Iha japa diya sabe kariya nirbandha. इहा होइते सर्व सिद्धि होइबे सबा सर्वक्षण बोलो विधे विधि नहीं आरा Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is so potent that if we take shelter of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Sarva Siddhi Hoy, all perfection will come. All perfection means not material perfection. Spiritual, whatever the best perfection, biggest of the devotees achieve, we can simply get by sitting in one place and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And Sarvakhan Bolo, always chant. Ite Didi Naniya. There is no other remedy other than this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So what arrangement we should do for chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, no bigger arrangement. 10-5 मिली निज द्वारे ते बसिया कीर्तन करो सबे हाथे ताली दिया Just family members come together, sit together. Here he is saying द्वारे ते बसिया, sit on the door so others can also come if they are interested. And Kirtana karo sabhe haathe taali. You may not know Mridanga, you may not know Kartal, no harmonium, no mic system. Just clapping hands together, we can chant Hare Krishna. Can you imagine? Krishna is so simple. To get Krishna is so simple. But there is so simple that he slips out of our hand. It's so simple. One of the names of Krishna is Niranjan. You know Niranjan? There are many explanations to what is Niranjan. One explanation is, Anjan means, what was that? Kajan. Anjan means decorations. Niranjan means without decorations. Means Krishna likes simplicity. Krishna doesn't like artificial decorations. He is simple and he likes simple devotees. So when we approach Krishna with these 5 potent ways and also especially Hare Krishna Mahamantra, automatically our real Swarupa, our real connection with Krishna is revealed. Srila Bhakti Babaji Maharaj is saying, just by this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the syllables of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, this Swarupa will be revealed. And therefore we should take this chanting of Mahamantra very, very seriously. Although when we come in ISKCON, it's the first thing we learn. Right? But sometimes what happens, it used to happen when we used to go for college preaching. You know, devotees, they rise up early in the morning, 4 o'clock, get in one morning program. Then we would go to college. After coming back from college in evening, we would go for preaching. And many times these preachers, they would make students sit in circles. We all sit in circle, we'll chant. And while chanting, the boys would chant very nicely, and the preacher would fall asleep. He would sleep. And the boys would feel, oh, he's gone in Samadhi or something. And he's so absorbed in his chanting. Actually, with time, our sincerity for chanting should increase. We should really take out real attention to chant Holy Name with attention. Every morning, if possible, please come together and chant. Some days are tough. Some days you may have a hectic schedule. Sometimes you may be sick. That's fine. But as much as you can, try to come together and chant. One thing we personally experienced in Ujjain, and just sharing my personal experience, that we are trying so many ways to preach. So many courses and so many, different innovative styles. Things were working but not that efficiently. Now 6-7 months back, what we started is, we started calling devotees to chant together in temple. Of course, there things are easier because within 10 minutes drive, Ujjain is over. It's a small city. So we call everybody to chant in temple. So we say, okay, you can't come for Mangala Arati, fine. At least come by 5:15 and you come and chant with us. And we have seen tremendous changes. Because chanting with devotees in temple hall together It's real yajna. Like you see yajna, people sit together in a circle, there is a sacrificial element between the swaha, swaha. In the same way, when devotees chant together, Tulsi Maharani in the middle, such a potent way to enrich ourselves with Krishna consciousness. So however it is possible, at least online you coming together, or some days in a month, maybe Ekadashi or some holy days or some public holidays, you can come together and chant in person together. It will really give immense benefit. And that taste of chanting in association with devotees will give us more inspiration to go back at our home and chant with sincerity. This is where we are going to get Krishna. He is hidden in this holy name. Holy name is like a bud. And when this bud blossoms, we see Radha Krishna. They are not different, but holy name is like a bud. It's closed. But when it blossoms, we can experience Radha Krishna. So that's how we have to really put extra endeavors. Sometimes there can be ways how we adjust our chanting in our daily schedule. Like, some devotees chant while driving. You notice that? Or sometimes Mataji's, they manage to cook and chant together. Sometimes difficult to cook with feedbacks, so they have clickers and other things. But Krishna should not feel that he has complicated our life. Suppose some guest came to your home and he can feel that he is burdening you. Can that guest stay for long? Never stay. In the same way, Krishna is in the holy name. Krishna is holy name. And when Krishna starts to feel that I am becoming a burden in this devotee's life, poor fellow has to somehow finish me. Krishna has 15 minutes, 3 rounds I have to finish. Or 2 at least, get over, you have 15 minutes. Krishna feel, my God, I complicated his life. And Krishna is the most sensitive person. He is the ocean of all qualities. Right? So when he feels he is sensitive, that he has complicated our lives, we tend to go. We tend to leave. And that's where we lose taste in our chanting. Therefore, really, we have to put extra effort. We also should be sensitive that how Krishna feels in our company. Therefore, when we chant, don't track time. Don't track time. Suppose you are meeting Radha Krishna and say, 6 minutes I have for you, my dear Radha and Krishna. In 6 minutes you have to go. Whatever you have to speak, tell me in 6 minutes. Another beautiful thing you can do is, after you chant 16 rounds on beats, from your beat back, don't touch your Sakshi Mala. Don't touch. And then chant extra. Don't count 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, 30, don't do that. After 16, just give your Sakshi Mala. And then you chant. Now, no compulsion of covering extra rounds, no targets, no time, and with that time that you will spend with holy name, that will be unique experience. And when you can do that, you are going on yatra, right? In yatra you will have all the time. You don't have to cook, you don't have to go on job, you have no engagements. So finish your 16 rounds nicely, and after 16 rounds don't touch your Sakshi Mala. Count it. And just one main beat, just chant. With all your love, with all your attention. And you will see the magic. Sometimes devotees say, we struggle to chant 16 rounds nicely. Right? We struggle to chant nicely. You know the solution? What is the solution? Chant 64 rounds someday. That's the solution. You're laughing, but that's the reality. Take out a day, rise little early, maybe 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and you can complete 64 rounds before 12 or 1 o'clock. Generally it takes 7 to 8 hours. Now, if you chant 64 rounds one day, once a year, you will see the next day onwards the 16 rounds will become very simple. Very simple. So when you feel I'm struggling to chant 16 rounds, what is the trick? Chant 64 rounds. It's easy. Best way to chant 64 rounds? What's the best day to chant 64 rounds? On your birthday. At least one day a year is select. That you can chant 64 rounds. Another trick is, you tie up with some devotee. Because chanting alone is difficult. Right? So tie up with one devotee. And my dear friend, on my birthday I need to chant 64 rounds. Will you give me some time? We can chant together. But then what that devotee will say? On his birthday, you have to also go. So that's how we end up chanting 64 rounds on 2 days ago. Which is even better. Right? Husband and wife can do together, things like that. But this will really benefit. And this chanting is going to reveal Krishna in our heart. I'll show one quotation at the end. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is saying, when that day will come, when I'll chant, and tears will flow from my eyes, not to show anybody else, just in your own sacred space, you're connecting with Shri Radha and Krishna. And for that we came to ISKCON, right? That's the purpose of our being here. So that is our aspiration. So what we discussed is, Avrita Bhakti, solution is 5 potent ways which Rupa Goswami did. Last thing is Prema Vihin Bhakti. And as I told these two, we can't overcome really by our own endeavors. It makes us more and more dependent on Krishna. We are practicing, we have covered all the aspects of Krishna consciousness, still that Prema is awarded, is not achieved. There's difference between achieving and receiving. Prema is received, is never achieved. Just like if you put something on the top of this platform, and one of these kids try to get it, it can't. But by seeing their endeavor, they will jump like 20 times. One of you will feel pity for them and they will give it. In the same way, we are jumping. Krishna, we want to serve you, we want to become your devotees. We also want to experience pure devotion. Not going to happen with our own endeavor. But with that jumping and endeavoring, our Guru, Srila Prabhupada and Acharyas feel pity for us. They give us devotion. That is Prema Vihin. Here, Chaitanya Charitamrita tells, Prema Dhana Vina Vyartha Daridra Jivana. Das Kori Vetan More Deho Prema Dhana. Without Prema, without love of Krishna, our life is useless. But how do we get Prema? He is begging that, my dear Lord, please make me a servant, and you are supposed to give some salary to the servants. As a salary, you give me Prema. So that's how you award me this Krishna consciousness. Can somebody read this quote?
Alas, when will I loudly and affectionately chant the holy names of Sri Hari and sing his glories? He is always praised by the saintly devotees. When will my chest become drenched by the tears from my eyes? When will my body become decorated with the symptoms of incomparable ecstatic love, such as my hair standing on end? When will my heart become melted? And when will I roll on the ground, being intoxicated by the love of God?
This is what is waiting for us. This is what is our aspiration. It starts with Shraddha, but you can see how it takes us slowly to the love of God. And it's all possible by the association of pure devotee. This is our hope. Sakama mati bhajitam atadvidam bhaktam priyakam nirvartakam nam datte ganananda kudam padam pujam pita vidaswadi sitam niva. When a child eats clay, his father takes the clay away and gives him sweets. Similarly, the Supreme Lord's lotus feet take lust away and give spiritual bliss to the ambitious devotee who are ignorant of his glories. He is always affectionate to his devotees. That's the path of grace. So we endeavor, and then affectionately Lord gives us this devotional service. And in the meantime, what becomes our hope? What becomes our support? I'm taking 2 more shlokas, and that gives us hope. How even the path is very difficult, but how we reach there, 2 shlokas. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. दुर्गमे पति में अन्धस्य जगतिर्मुहो स्वकृपा दृष्टिदानेन संतावलंबनम्. Somebody read translation.
My path is very difficult. I am blind and my feet are slipping again and again. Therefore, may the saints help me by granting me the stick of their mercy as my support.
So how we cross over all these stages? By the stick of support of Vaishnavas. Sadhu Sangha. So once Shiva Swami Maharaj asked Srila Prabhupada, really, can I do this service? Can I really become Krishna conscious? Prabhupada answered, do you have faith in me? He said, yes, Prabhupada. Then you don't need to have faith in yourself. Have faith in me. That's what required. So if you just follow my instructions, you will achieve the highest platform devotional service. Another very interesting quote of Srila Prabhupada. When Srila Prabhupada was asked, Srila Prabhupada, we read in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that we need to meditate on a Brajavasi to achieve perfection. Right? And that's how we achieve the spontaneous devotion to Krishna. Which Brajavasi we should focus on? Yashoda Maharani or Nanda Baba or this or that. Which Brajavasi? Prabhupada said me. Focus on me. I am that Brajavasi whom we have to focus. So we have such a beautiful support of our Acharya that if we focus his instructions step by step, this is what we are going to achieve. Krishna's lotus feet. In simple words, Mukam karoti vachalam Pangum langayate girim Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. So we hold on to Guru's lotus feet, that he can make even the crippled person to rise on the mountains. You can see dumb person can speak eloquent poetry. That's the mercy of the spiritual master. So yes, our path is difficult, but we have the best support of Guru and Vaishnavas. And if we just follow the instructions as it is, as given in the Parampara, as given in the Prabhupada books, as guided by senior Vaishnavas, we can also achieve the destination of pure love of Godhead and become healthy, wealthy, and wise in our devotional service. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Avek Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanande. So as promised, I didn't speak much in this session because I thought to take some questions. So if you have any questions, you can ask, or if you written them down, you can pass them. Hare Krishna.
So we have some written questions. First we'll take those.
Yes. The logic behind written questions is you can pass on the question without knowing anybody who wrote that question. That's another secret.
Anybody has any written questions?
So while the written question comes from one question. So any service that we are doing where we are expecting some credit or appreciation becomes materialistic. Reality is that's what keeps driving us into this, continuing the service. So is it, we can assume it's a natural progression that as we do our sadhana it will go away, or is there something we need to do specifically for it to go away?
That's a very nice question. See, when children they eat, mother gives them sweets. Oh, you have eaten one chapati, I'll give you chocolate. Right? But as
Prabhu, if you let it be there. Yeah.
So when mother tries to encourage the child to eat, so mother may say, oh, if you finish this chapati, I'll give you one sweet. Okay? But child needs to grow with time. It's not that 50-year-old person also is looking for sweets to eat chapati. So in beginning it's fine. You know, when somebody chants 4 rounds, oh, 4 rounds, and give you a beat back. You know, and we announce also. Such and such devotee started chanting 4 rounds. Let's chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. After initiation, will anybody chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Such and such devotee chanting 4 rounds. We'll get a good meeting. Right? So with time, devotee has to grow. Now these anarthas don't go on their own. We have to identify them and sincerely work to get rid of them. So when these tendencies come, that I should be recognized, I should get the credit, we should understand name, fame, glory, again same story. I am binding myself in the material world. So I need to get rid of it. So what we can do, 2 things. Pass the credit to the team. That's the way you pass credit to the bottom half. And then pass the credit to the acharyas. So you can publicly tell that how this is happening by the mercy of our spiritual masters, our seniors, and also this is the team, we all have worked together. So that's how we come out of that celebrity devotion tendency. Otherwise, I'll be alone. After some time, nobody will be there with me. Why? Because I wanted to be alone when credit came. One detail connected with this is, when we get too much credit, which actually belonged to the team, but we took it alone, we will also get the blame which belonged to the team, but it will be posed on us alone. So we should fear for that also. So if we are so, self-conscious, in future we may get that blame also. So very, very cautiously, let's pass it to the team and also to the acharyas. And that's how we come out of that situation. With time. Initially it's okay, but not for long period. Any other question? Yes.
In today's class, you mentioned that our progress in devotion is judged by how our colleagues and the people who are living with us are happy with us. But at the same time, it becomes very difficult to make everyone happy and satisfied.
We can't do that.
Like how to...
At least it should be on neutral level, not on negative level. That's how we have to push it. If we make mistake, let's correct it. Let's let forgiveness and bring it to the neutral level. If they may not be praising us, they should not be praying that we go away. It should not happen that one day we die and the devotees have a big party that is gone. It should not happen. So we should at least keep it on neutral level. And at least devotees are okay we are here. So that's what we can do. We can't please everyone, but we should not displease also.
Hare Krishna. So I have about 6 questions on chits. The question is, you told us to pray to come last. But isn't spiritual competition good?
Yes.
And how can I be motivated to do better seva?
Wonderful question. Spiritual competition is encouraged by Srila Prabhupada. And we should work hard. But what is that competition? Competition is who can become bigger servant. That is the competition. It's not about who can become a big leader, who can get a best recognition. No. It's about who can become the greater servant. So the prayer is, I do better than my best, but still I pray for other Vaishnavas, they do even better. See, Advaita Acharya is incarnation of Mahavishnu Sadashiva, most advanced devotee in our body of Vaishnavism. But he is praying that, my dear Lord, on my own, I can't rectify the situation, Kalila. You listen. That means he's showing by his own actions that he's doing his best, but he's praying for others that they do even better than the rest. That will make the community very, very healthy. So yes, spiritual competition is there, but competition will become bigger servant. And biggest contribution we can do to this society is by having this feeling of united endeavors. That's the biggest service we can do to this community in ISKCON and gender. Let's become united and serve Srila Prabhupada. So within the home, suppose one son is massaging father's one leg, another son is massaging father's another leg. Now they both want to serve father. So what they should do? They should do their part of leg the best way. But if they start pinching the other side, thinking that father will say he is pinching, who will get the pain? Father will get the pain. So this competition should not turn into unhealthy competition. That we try to block others, we try to kind of criticize, backbite, these things which hamper others' progress, then it will become an unhealthy competition. So let's compete with each other in a healthy way to become bigger Vaishnavas, serve Srila Prabhupada in the best possible way, and encourage others also to serve in the better way. Let's take one example. One of the devotees here tomorrow gets opportunity to meet the Prime Minister of India. Okay? And his big picture comes in newspaper. And he made such nice friendship with Prime Minister of India. The Prime Minister of India says, whatever you tell, I will do for next 15 days. Okay? What will be our reaction? Will we be happy or will we be sad? What should be our reaction? We'll be happy. One of our members became such a close associate of Prime Minister. Let's distribute crores of Bhagavad Gita next 15 days. Let's solve all litigation is for next 15 days. Let's open thousands of temples next 15 days, right? That's what you think. But suppose one person sitting on the person, why my photo has not come? He will waste all 15 days in this only. Right? So if we have this kind of competition, where we encourage each other, we can achieve a lot. But if we have unhealthy competition, we will curb each other's enthusiasm. Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj often repeats this quote. I think this is from Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, but he repeats often in his classes. There is no limit to what we can achieve if we are not anxious about who gets the credit. If you understand that point, there is no limit to what we can achieve. And that's healthy competition.
You spoke about chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but I am chanting 50% of my rounds on clicker and 50% on beats. Is it okay?
There is saying in Hindi, Andha Mama se Khada Mama acha. You heard that? Better to have blind uncle than no uncle. So okay, 50% is blind uncle, 50% on beats, 50% on clicker, which is okay. But as I mentioned, let us not make Krishna feel that we have no time for him. Like suppose children, when a child comes in the family, child should never feel that I am burden on this family. Mother gives exclusive attention to the child. Father gives exclusive attention to the child. And the children who get neglected, they become like demons. Hitler was a neglected child, by the way. So they become demons in the society. In the same way, Krishna should not feel I am burden in this person's life. Let us arrange our life in such a way that we can peacefully chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra on beats, especially initiated devotees. Beats are given by a spiritual master. You can't imagine that's the gift your spiritual master has given you. He's personally gifted that to you. What can be a bigger connection to Parampara than your own beats? That's your wealth in Krishna consciousness. So try to chant off the beats. And these technical things, nowadays, apps has also come. You have to chant. You chant on Mahamantra and it's like, All this technology will only take us away from Krishna and not properly utilized. But these traditional ways of chanting, reading through books, that will make us more in Sattva also. So our mind will also not get distracted. You can do this experiment. Chant on your beads and chant on clicker and then compare the quality of the chanting. You will also see the difference between the consciousness. Because these beads are especially empowered by spiritual master. So that's our connection to the Parampara. So let's take out exclusive time, chant. And after chanting your 16 rounds, you can chant 108 rounds on your clicker. That's fine. So that will be no problem. But at least 16 rounds on beads, we should chant.
Can we chant while hearing a lecture? Both are complete services. And I feel my japa will not stretch like that.
See, when we try to do two things at a time, we don't do both in a proper way. So when you are hearing, hear. When you are chanting, chant. You see, sometimes when we eat and we try to speak also, what happens? What happens? You get choked. So neither you can eat, neither you can speak that time. So that's a signal. Body is telling you, do one thing at a time. In the same way, chanting and hearing are two exclusive activities. So when we chant, let's chant nicely. When we hear nicely. Sometimes you will see senior devotees chanting, if they are sitting in some lectures, say, they will be chanting their extra rounds. We are not here to judge them. But we, as struggling sadhakas, should have exclusive chanting and exclusive hearing. You can hear less. Maybe you can hear 15 minutes is fine. But chant your rounds very nicely, exclusively. That's recommended.
In terms of anarthas, what is the difference between sinfuls and offenses? Sin and offenses.
Sins are not very seriously taken by Krishna. But offenses are very seriously taken by Krishna. Especially Vaishnava Brahman. Like suppose there is a very wealthy person. And he's a big house, big garden, so many flowers. You go and you steal one flower. But still not mind it. But you steal his kid, then he will not leave you. So plucking one flower from wealthy person's house and stealing his kid, they are two different kind of offenses. One is very grave, one is very simple. In the same way, this material world is like a mustard seed in Krishna's creation. Somebody having some sense gratification in some corner of this world, Krishna doesn't mind, okay, he'll get his karma. But when we attack his devotees who are like his pet child, Krishna can't tolerate. Then for Prahlad, Nrsimhadev comes. Even for one devotee he cannot tolerate. Forget about offending multiple devotees. So therefore, we should be very, very careful not committing aparadha. Sinful tendencies will go away by chanting the holy name. But aparadhas are so grave that even chanting of the holy name doesn't work when we do aparadha. So we should be very cautious not to commit aparadha. And that's the reason before chanting, we revise 10 offenses. Many times there is a record, who can recite fast? Prabhuji, I can recite in 10 seconds. No, I broke that record, 9 seconds. 8.5 seconds. Now, it's not for marathon. Every offense we should meditate. That this is what we should safeguard ourselves against. And then our chanting will be effective and will be relieved of all sinful activities. So very careful about aparadha at least. Since by following 4 regulative principles, sin cannot touch you. Only by following 4 regs, sins will not touch you. But aparadha, we have to be consciously aware not to commit any aparadha.
How pious activity can cause anartha?
See, there are many tendencies which we carry from previous lives. Now, pious activities also create some habits. Like giving donations. Is it good or bad? Good, right? Now you are going on the street. One beggar comes, he asks for donation. And your previous Sukriti encourages you, give. Yeah, you need to help him. And you give him. And then that beggar goes and purchases a good bottle of liquor and drinks. And what will happen? the sin will also come to you. So that's how even pious tendencies, if they are not directed to Krishna consciousness, they turns into aparadh. Now severe it becomes when these pious activities don't allow us to surrender to the process fully. Like some devotees, they come from very, very solid backgrounds of Shakta, Shaiva and other backgrounds. They're very pakka to observe Navaratras and to observe Mahashivratri and this and that. And when they come to Krishna consciousness, they hear Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arasavabhritya, I don't need to do anything else. They can't give it up. So secretly at home they put Ganapati, secretly at home they will put Mahashivratri Vrata and other things. So that's how these things become obstacles in pure devotional service. So respecting is another thing, but those tendencies don't allow to take shelter of Krishna exclusively. So we should be also aware that these tendencies are coming from good background, but still obstacles in Krishna consciousness.
What is the secret of simplicity?
Simplicity means without duplicity. Simple definition. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would tell this definition. Simplicity means without duplicity. Simplicity doesn't mean the way you dress. That is external simplicity. Simplicity doesn't mean the external appearance and things. That's your own choice. But simplicity means in your behavior you should be non-duplicitous. So if you have doubt, like we discussed, suspicion, discuss with the seniors. That is simplicity. If you get stuck somewhere, if you are thinking some bad thing about some devotee, discuss with your seniors. And that's how simplicity will help us to advance in Krishna consciousness. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, to the limit, he said, Saralta hi Vaishnavata. Simplicity is Vaishnavism. Means to the degree we are simple, to that degree we can become Vaishnava. How to adopt it? By having non-duplicitous dealings. That's how it becomes simple.
This question is not connected to the class, but I'll ask it anyway. At the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, Nashta Moha
Smriti.
What Smriti was he talking about?
Smriti means that we are servants of Krishna. That's our Smriti. That's the real knowledge we need to remember. Just like if a person on street, you ask him, from where did you come? He says, I don't know. Where are you going? I don't know. What's your name? I don't know. What we will do? We'll send him to mental asylum. But Smriti means to know who am I. I am servant of Krishna. What I am supposed to do? I am supposed to serve Krishna. So in first chapter, Arjuna is becoming very scholar. He's saying, Krishna, how I kill all these relatives? He's forgetting his best relative is Krishna. He's saying, how can I kill my guru? He's forgetting my first guru is Krishna. He's saying, how can I break religious principles? But he's forgetting, best religious principle is to execute the orders of Krishna. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. So that smriti he gets back. That I am eternal servant of Krishna, I am supposed to serve him. Now you tell me what I am supposed to do. Karishye vachanam tava. That smriti I get. So therefore he accepts. Nasht moha, my illusion has gone. Smritir labdha. I got this smriti. What is that smriti? I will work as per your direction. Karishye vachanam tava.
Last question. When we are in association, can we leave our swabhava?
Nature.
Okay.
Can we change our swabhava?
There are two types of swabhava. One is naimittik, one is nitya. Naimittik means temporary swabhava, which we have taken over. Like suppose a beautiful bird takes over a paint, so its beauty has been covered by that paint. That is naimittik. So I think what swabhava you are trying to tell is naimittik swabhava. Like the tendencies which we are carrying from our childhood, the sanskaras which we are carrying from childhood, the naimittik sanskaras. These sanskaras really go away by practice of nitya dharma. What is that nitya dharma? serving Krishna. So when we practice this Navada Bhakti, we really come out of our Naimittik Swabhava. And that's called as Jaiva Dharma, the real nature of soul to serve Krishna. So we get rid of everything and see, look at our society. Srila Prabhupada went to the West, and he went to the West and make them chant Hare Krishna, and they came out of their all kind of Naimittik dharmas and became pure Vaishnavas. For us, it's still easy. In India, we know who is Krishna, we know what is Bhagavad Gita. What about them? I just saw a video yesterday. One of our preachers went to Mongolia, and these Mongolians, they're chanting with all their traditional dress, Hare Krishna, Mahamantra. I was thinking, my God, this is the proof that actually Nitya Dharma is Krishna consciousness. All whatever we see externally is Naimittik Dharma. So when we come to Krishna consciousness, we get rid of all Naimittik Dharma, and our Nitya Dharma comes out, being servant of Krishna. That's our eternal nature. Hare Krishna.
Through the verse Anyavleshvita Jnana Karma Jnanam. What exactly does Jnana and Karma mean?
See, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes this beautiful in his song, Anadi Karma Phale, Bodhi Bhuvar Navajale. He compares this whole situation with an analogy. And what he says, that a jiva fell into an ocean. Now in ocean, in the middle of ocean, no matter how expert swimmer you are in helpless condition. How much you will swim? You can't cross ocean by swimming. Now the sun sets, it's dark, so it's more horrible. And the big waves are playing with this soul. That's how Bhaktivinoda Thakur graphically describes it. Now, helpless condition. And he's tied also. Asha Pasha Shata Shata. With hundreds of ropes of material aspirations, he's tied. So one thing is in the ocean, it's night, the waves are carrying him like a ball, and he's tied also. He can't do anything by himself. Now in the middle of the night, one ship comes of pirates. Now these pirates are 6 anarthas. Now these 6 anarthas plunder whatever this person had. So he's more though helpless. But then he sees one ship. And he sees 2 people standing on that ship. They say, we will help you. And what these 2 people do, they bring that person on the boat. They give him a nice cup of tea. Nicely grooms him up. And throw him again in the water. What are these 2 friends? They are not friends, they are thug. Jnana karma thaga doi, mode pratariya loi. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, they cheated me. They promised they will help, but they never help. Because karma makes you feel you can do everything on your own. Jnana makes you feel that this world is useless, I'll get liberated. But at the end of our life, we realize both cannot help us. Because karma and jnana can only give a good feeling. But at the end of our life, they both leave us helpless. And that time, Krishna Tumi Kripa Sindhu, you are the ocean of mercy. Please pick me up. Now I don't have any other friend. Tolo more bale, you pick me up from this ocean. I have no other hope. That's what a devotee surrenders. Anna Vilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Adhyanavrita. I don't believe in myself anymore. I don't reject this world anymore. Now Krishna, you decide. You want me here? You want me in your lotus feet? You decide for me. That is complete surrender. So that's how Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes it.
With your permission, I want to make one point. So, this is based on the class. So, when we chant, Cheto Darpana Madhyam happens, right? There is scrubbing of our heart. So, the word scrub is very important here. Because this scrub defines 5 of the diseases that we heard today. S stands for suspicious. C stands for covered. R stands for rasavihina. U stands for unloving. And B stands for blind devotion.
Wow.
Later you add F with this same. I was trying very hard when Prabhu was saying, finally I had to refer to ChatGPT.
ChatGPT Guru ki jai.
is 12:30, exactly on time. So thank you very, very much, Prabhu.